Hi.
David Steen.
Yes. Face for radio. Sorry, folks.
Here's Mark Schaefer, the director of The Hunger.
Are you ready to watch? Are you ready to watch?
God, those look great!
So you want to start from the beginning of the
Gay's like, I got shit to do.
No,
Can you start
I
already?
just want to know if you want to talk from the beginning of
Yes.
how you started.
Yes.
So
Who are we?
Okay.
who are you guys?
Go ahead.
You first.
All right.
You're younger.
I like 10 years.
And a half.
15 years.
Easy.
All right. Are you rolling it already?
Yeah,
All right.
been rolling.
Cool.
I'm Mark Schaefer. I am the director and editor and occasional writer.
And I'm David Steen. I am the writer and producer.
Okay, over. Thank you.
Yep. What else do you want
God.
to talk about?
Let's talk. That was awful. My name is Mark Schaefer. I am the director, editor, and occasional writer.
And I'm David Steen. I'm the writer and producer. Back in 2005 is when this all started.
Yes, Dave and I worked at the original Roadhouse Grill in Long Beach. We knew each other through work, and we started talking about movies as we would pass each other, or if Dave, I think I was bartending and Dave would get drinks from me, and we started saying movie lines and found out that we both liked movies.
And Chris, a guy we worked with, had dreams of making comic books, came to us, and he said that he would love to do a fan fiction of a Korean film. And we said, why not? Let's get together and talk about it and see what we could do.
So he showed us this movie. It was called Battle Royale, and it was insanely cool and super gory. Dave and I just decided, yeah, we can make that. No problem. So we did. Or tried.
We tried. "17 principal characters. We wrote an entire feature length. Don't start short. It was supposed to be an hour and a half long movie. No one in the film had ever done anything before.
Pointed at Christy's head, so if you Lex.
The only person who had any experience at all was a guy named Dave Chorley. He was directing the movie. And he left after the first day of shooting. He quit. He did not want to be part of the production anymore.
I don't know why. The greatest thing was we didn't audition. We literally just went to our coworkers and said, guess what? You're Janet or whatever. Yeah. We would go to somebody else and say, you're Derek. And they're like, okay. And they would just start showing up for filming days.
Yeah, and it was amazing. We had no locations. We would shoot at people's houses. There was a school that we used to go to on Saturdays. We would hop the fence into the school. No one knew we were there. And my strongest memory from shooting Sins was about 3 or 4 months into shooting. We'd never used this camera before. We were borrowing the camera from the director who quit on us after the first shoot. He was gracious enough to let us use his camera.
By the way, and that's when we didn't have a director, and I said, I guess I will direct.
Right.
Not knowing how to direct.
Yeah, he was originally just going to produce, and he made these beautiful schedules.
Which I still didn't know what a producer was, but it was a good title, so I took it.
So anyways, we were borrowing this camera from this guy Dave, and he had showed me one of the scenes we shot. The only day he shot, it was doing an interior, and there were several settings on the camera. One was called Spotlight, and it worked really well for the lighting that we had had that day. So after he left the production, we always used the spotlight setting for everything we did. Interiors, exteriors, didn't matter. And then I remember very vividly going to Mark's house one day being like, let's watch the footage we've shot. And it all looked awful. It looked absolutely awful. It didn't look good at all. And we started playing with the settings, and we realized there was a setting it was just called auto, that actually adjusted to the lights that we had or the situation that we were in.
I'm holding it all the way down. You're not watching, but look, I am. Look, holding it all the way down.
See?
Look,
I knew it. I knew it.
Nah, it's this button right here.
And we looked at each other after about 3 months of filming this movie, and we're like, we have to start over. And that's what we did. We started completely over.
We went back to all of our friends and said, hey, got good news and bad news.
Yeah.
Good news is we're going to have a lot more filming. The bad news is we have to start over from the very beginning. And they said, okay.
Yeah, so we did. We did not, I don't think we reshot everything that we had gotten to at that point, the entire 3 months, because people started falling off pretty quickly at that point. And the entire production just completely fell apart, and we ended up just calling it. We were like, you know what, this is not going to happen.
Dave, what's your job?
No, it's not true.
I'm a tape boy. I'm a lighting man.
And?
I'm a writer.
I had never even finished writing the script for that, although I do have really nice spiral-bound scripts, 20 pages of about a 70 to 80 page script, and that was all that was ever written, and that was our first project.
I went to Amsterdam to work for 3 months, and we had talked about our next project. I'm not sure why. We weren't satisfied with not finishing, so we decided to make a much shorter movie. And while I was in Amsterdam, Dave was writing Agape, which would be our first film and the first film that we finished. So when I got back after those 3 months in June, we started filming that with Fernando.
Hi there, my name is Fernando Alcantara. I am a founding member of Center Cut Productions. David Steen, Mark Schaefer, and I all used to work at the town center, the Long Beach Town Center, and they were bartenders. I was a bartender, and they would come into the TGI Fridays that I worked at. And word was spread that I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I found out they made films. My goal at the time, I remember I wanted to be a director of photography. David wanted to produce, and Mark wanted to direct. So it was a perfect marriage of the three of us.
And Agape was a lot of it was not only just to come to Jesus, but it was a moment where we reconnected with reality about what we could and couldn't do. You know, maybe the idea of shooting a feature movie with 17 characters was too much for us. So let's do something we can do. We thought it would be really cool if we could take a drill and drill it through someone's kneecap and show that on screen. I remember that very well. And so with nothing other than that idea that we want to drill this kneecap, he went to Amsterdam for 3 months and was like, I'll be back, and let's do a short. Let's do something smaller, and let's drill this kneecap. And that was Agape. That was how that started.
Day one of the shoot of Agape.
Actually, stay
Which-
tuned.
Oh, that's right. It is day two. The time is 6:30, an hour and a half behind schedule, waiting on the director.
As usual, as per usual, you guys will get used to waiting for Mark everywhere we go. He's always
Is it already
the last.
6:30?
Burger, the beautiful burger.
Script supervisor.
Yes.
Yep, that's me.
We were just young guys that knew we loved movies. We wanted to make movies. We all shared the same love of filmmakers. We all loved Pulp Fiction. We loved Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. We decided to film in my garage. I remember this huge camera that I had to hold.
Our microphones were singing microphones, and then we had the mechanics lights those were our lights, and then we had the camera with the XLRs to the gigantic back.
Do you remember
Thank
the
you.
sewing circles that we used to?
Yeah.
We had these lights that would just clamp on anywhere, and then we had what was made for cross stitching, and we would just put layers of netting in them to diffuse the lights, and we would just hang them on top of these.
Yeah, it was
lights.
perfect. Yeah, that was the first time we used it. We had a slate guy. We did that.
Agape, scene 2D, take one.
And we had our first and only dolly shot where I pushed Fernando on a computer chair. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic. We were very excited about that. We cut Dave's finger off. That was exciting.
We did do that with a scar cutter.
We did.
I think someone came up with the idea of putting an air hose.
The bug spray thing where it put the hose on him, put the blood packs on his back, and he flies back. And I remember we shot that, and it was our blood angel, remember? It was like blood went everywhere, and we just went, oh my God, it was like the greatest thing we'd ever seen.
And action.
We had no idea what we were doing. It was fun. I remember my roommate at the time, Kevin Nias, who was also in Agape, he was messing around with firecrackers and opened up the firecracker, put it at the end of our fake gun and lit it, and that became the muzzle flash.
What the fuck?
We bought PVC pipe and tried to make it look like a knee, put it into a pair of jeans, and then of course zoomed in super tight into this knee and drilled the shit out of this fake knee. And there's takes upon takes upon takes of trying to make this look right. The drill kept spinning and getting caught on the jeans, and it would get stuck, and the blood would explode a little too much. Like, it was obvious that this is not a knee, right? But we had so much fun doing it. And if I remember, and Mark showed me the the behind the scenes footage of that, the cutout scenes, because it was just so bad. But we had so much fun.
God damn! Hold your ass still! Where's my fucking diamonds? Son of a bitch! Give us the fucking diamonds! Give us the fucking diamonds!
I can just hear us laughing as we're filming this bad scene of the knee being drilled into.
What I remember a lot about that movie too is I originally, when we were making these projects, I was an actor as well. That was an ambition that I had. And
you almost died?
Yeah, and one of the big reasons I don't act in these movies anymore is when we were filming Agape, there was a scene in which the character I played, Paul, I think his name was, he was smoking cigarettes and convincing another character to do something, and he was a very high energy guy, and it was just one of those things.
We got this guy Gerard. He's down there with a shitload of diamonds, man, and he's got to move them, and he's got to move them fast.
But we were so bad at the time, and we took so many takes that I ended up smoking an entire pack of cigarettes in about 2 hours, and I was in so much pain after shooting that.
Let's do it.
You have one more long one?
Let's do one for the duration of a cigarette.
That for like. I remember it was like a week after that. I was still like, I sounded, like I was an 80-year-old woman who'd been smoking since she was 15.
It's all shaky.
You have to drink later to counter all this nicotine.
So I took a step back and became more of the production team after that.
Did that scene ever make it in the movie? I don't remember.
No, I think we cut it.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it was sad.
But we finished the movie, and I'll never forget this. Our world premiere was at Dave's house.
Yeah.
And he brought all of his friends over, Fountain Valley or wherever he lived.
Iowa.
And the neighbor came over, and the older guy, he came over and he watched it. And after, he goes, so what are you guys going to do with it? You going to go festivals? You going to this and do that? And Dave and I are like, what?
Yeah.
We're like, we're just going to make another movie. That was all our thought ever was, well, that one's over. We'll just make another one.
First day of Scorned.
There you go.
Here we are.
Burn.
Sweet.
First day, brother.
Sweet. We're on video there?
Yep. Let's hope it doesn't suck, huh?
We're here on the set of Sumter Says Productions' new film, Scorned, starring David Steen. Oh, wait a minute. She's the producer.
She. What the fuck, dude? You know, one of these days, you guys are gonna appreciate what I do here. And I'm gonna get on the fucking slate and write and produce it right here, right on the fucking top.
Well, you're still not on the slate, dude.
Scorned was actually Fernando's script.
And we gutted it and ruined it.
Yeah, he had.
Sorry, Fern.
He had an idea that wasn't bad. It was like something about finding a package, and like a guy finds a package, and he opens the package, and it's a videotape, and he
That's how long ago it was. It was a VHS tape.
Yeah. And he puts the videotape in the player to see what it is, and it was like his wife was going to be tied up or something.
Yeah.
So we took that idea and we made a Skinemax softcore porn out of it.
This is Scorned. Scene 26p. Take 5.
There was never a package in the movie. By the time...
There was a girl that was tied up, though. We kept that.
We did keep that part. We did.
For Scorned, we got complete strangers to come in and audition.
Yeah, we did.
In your garage when we set up a table. Remember, to make it look legit?
Yep.
We had people coming in with their headshots like we were something for real.
Yep.
And we cast 2 guys, Steve Paul and Kevin Michael Turner.
I called you because you're a friend.
Grant. They want $500,000. Huh? You don't have that kind of money.
They were in the movie.
They were in the movie.
They were main parts in the movie.
Well, they were the main characters for sure. And we had another girl, Alita, who I went to school with, agreed to, and she was in theater with me, so she was an actress, sort of.
It'd be nice if you could look nice for me, once in a while.
Oh, you think that's nice? I think that's trash.
That's not what I'm saying. Hey, don't put words in my mouth.
Well, what do you mean?
Yeah, so we again were continuing to not know what we were doing.
Slated.
Am I plugged into you? Because I can't hear Jack.
Make sure you're... No good?
No good.
You know what? This might not be good on this.
No go.
Because it was the other one.
How many ears do we have?
There's only one ear today.
One ear? Is that you or is that
We don't have
It's,
enough.
Mark and I are going to share.
How are we going to share a headphone?
Some of my fond memories of this one were the wine, which was
Soy sauce.
Yeah, it was soy sauce. We didn't have any wine or anything that might look like wine, or go get anything that might look like wine. We just had them drink soy sauce.
So every cut of the scene is them putting the wine glass to their mouth, and then we would cut. And then they'd put it to their mouth, and we would cut.
The other thing I really remember from that is at the end of the movie, there's everyone's basically dead on the ground in the house.
Very Tarantino.
And
So
when we were filming that part, we had actors covered in blood, laying on the ground and whatever. We were filming this at my house, and someone knocked on the door, and they were there to get me to vote for their candidate or something like that. And I opened the door, and they started asking me if I was registered to vote, and they looked around, and they saw all this blood and people laying around, and they go, never mind. And just left.
You ready to do this thing or what?
I'm ready to do this thing.
After the conclusion of Scorned, and we showed it for another world premiere in Fernando's apartment, and Brent Callender, he watched it and made fun of us because the movie was so bad, and I had made bad sound design choices.
Get away!
And he made fun of us, and I was so like, who is this guy? He's making fun of us. And but the thing was, he knew what he was doing, and thank God for Brent teaching us how to actually make film.
Hi, I'm Brent Callender. I've been working with Center Cut since 2009. I was fresh out of film school, and I was able to acquire all the gear, the lights, the camera, and all the sound gear, and worked on a feature film for our first project together called The Hunger, and everything was started right from there.
When Brent joined the crew, it really took us from, out of the garage of Agape and out of the houses of Scorned, and he had lights, he had an HD camera, and he had knowledge. He also had connections to people who knew how to use the lights and the camera and the boom, which were all new for us.
On the set of The Hunger, Mark and I grew really close. We were bouncing ideas off each other. We knew somehow, all knew exactly what the other was thinking. We went through a lot of communication on how to shoot, where to shoot, position of cameras, the over the shoulder, the 180, the different things that go in a movie that not a lot of people know about. We learned how to work with each other and how to properly communicate in getting the actual footage that we wanted to and what we wanted to show to the people, but learning with each other as we're going along this journey.
I consider Brent my savior when it comes to me being any kind of accomplished director in our small little tiny world of the films we make. He's taught me everything on the technical side. But I learned so much from Brent that he probably doesn't even realize he taught me. And he is honestly the reason why I have any kind of knowledge in filmmaking whatsoever.
And God said, "See, the man has become like one of us, knowing of good and evil. And now he might reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever." Let us pray. My name's Lawrence Hemingway, and I've been involved with Center Cut for about 15 years. I was doing a theater production at Golden West College in Huntington Beach in 2007, and did some work with some folks that were already kind of connected. After that show, that led to an introduction with some other guys like Mark Schaefer.
We went to Of Mice and Men, where he and Brent were in play. And Dave, you told me, you're like, this is our guy, this is our Isaiah, this is our bad guy. And I was like, that guy is really young. You're like, no, trust me, he's like 40. We were so far away. Yeah, well, he'd kill to be 40 now.
I was working full time, had some vacation time built up. So I think we took about 10 days, did a road trip with all our equipment, and drove all the way up to Oregon. Had an amazing time.
Open your mouth. Open your mouth.
We had so much fun on the set of The Hunger. Got to really know everybody, from wild horses running around at night.
Don't catch it on fire. I've already had the horse. I can't handle a burning guy.
All right, guys, let's do this.
To actors down in a well, complaining because of mud.
How you feel?
We need to get this done. Now.
To actors almost getting violent with me. There was one person that we asked to grow a beard for The Hunger.
Service this morning will be brief, but to the point.
And the whole thing is that we were going to make it a big joke. So to grow this beard for the next 5 to 6 months. And when we got on set, we would say, all right, get ready, set, action. You know what, cut, go ahead and shave your beard. And the funny thing is that it was all going to be a big joke, but it ended up looking really good in the movie. So yeah, we actually came out on top with that one.
We will sacrifice until our sacrifice has been accepted, brother.
How can we sacrifice much more?
Just out of line. Can we keep going?
We had a girl that was supposed to be Courtney. She was supposed to be one of the leads. She dropped out. So that's when we met Mia, or I met Mia. And that's why everyone in the movie is named after their name, except for Mia is Courtney.
Hello, my name is Michelle Walker, I think better known in this circle as Mia Walker, and I have been working with Mark and Dave for going on about 15 years now. I started working with them in Oregon on a full-length film that we did called The Hunger. It wasn't initially even supposed to be in The Hunger. I think some other gal decided not to do it, so that's how I got my first role with them. I was second place, but that's fine. I'm good with that. Good with that.
Cameras.
So that was also the first time we've worked with Sean Katu. He actually had a small part in that movie. He didn't go up with us to Oregon, but he shot with us down here at a restaurant.
Hi, I'm Sean Katu. I've worked with Centercut several times over, well over a decade. I've helped act in things. I have done a little bit of writing.
I had a dream last night that I killed my mother.
This is Tom.
Oh! You remind me of my mother.
How you doing, Tom?
Hey, you want to sing some karaoke with me?
So in The Hunger, there was army crawling across gravel. There was lots of blood. There was, I did the splits at one point. Hadn't done the splits in a long time. But overall, super, super fun shoot. Again, first thing I did with them, had a great time. All blood, all gore, all the time.
But that movie was a huge undertaking, especially for me. It was easy to direct a day here, a day there, a weekend here, whatever. But when we strung like 8, 9, 10 days, whatever, in a row, I kind of crumbled under the pressure in the beginning. It was rough. It was really rough on me. I was still to the point in directing where I didn't know what I was doing, yet I had to portray like I knew what I was doing. And I always had to have an answer. And people, I learned when you're a director, always come to you for questions, which obviously I understand now, but at the time I didn't know why everyone. So I would always pretend like, I would always have an answer, because I knew that if I didn't have an answer, then I wouldn't be respected, and people would be like, well, he can say he's the director, but we know better. So I always would have an answer and then go back and go, yeah, you know what, I was thinking about that, and I think I changed my mind. I learned that early, to just give an answer at the time and then go back and think about it and then tell everyone I changed my mind when actually I was finally figuring out what to do, because I could not, I wasn't prepared enough to know every moment of what we were supposed to be doing.
Rolling.
Rolling? I really want Lawrence.
Rolling.
Sorry, stop that real quick.
Rolling.
Kim.
Rolling.
Wait, we're bowling.
Yeah, but we finished it, and we did screen it up in Oregon.
Getting ready to watch the premiere of The Hunger, shot here last year.
That was our first time ever making it to a theater.
Yes, and we packed that theater out.
How you feeling about tonight, Brent?
Awesome.
So the premiere was wild. From drunk people
We're here from
PC.
to drunk women flashing us. Everything wasn't going right all the way up until the minute the movie started.
And the movie was not as good as we would hope.
There were some scenes in the full theater that were complete black.
God, are you fucking kidding me? You scared me, Jesus.
You couldn't even see the actors performing, which was not great as an audience member.
Kind of mortifying.
Yeah.
We got through it, people loved it, and everybody was happy to see themselves because there was people from the actual town in the movie. So people were very happy.
It kind of took the wind out of our sails. Actually, it was so much work and so much time to put that thing together. Logistically, a nightmare.
Yeah, we were 2 years in pre-production.
2 years. And then after that, we decided to do the 48-hour film festival in 2010. That was, we went from as big as we could go down to make a movie in 2 days and just start to kind of hone your skills a little bit.
Yeah, when it was all about getting something done start to finish. And that first 48 we did was Being Jamie Wouldn't It, which I still think is a great. I mean, we looked at the festival and we looked at all the awards that were available and we said, how can we get eligibility for every single award that was being offered? And that was kind of the premise of the movie. We made a movie about making a 48-hour film festival.
We have to film a short that involves a keyboard and a line of dialogue. I have no idea.
I got it! I got it. We will do a romance. No, a modern day romance between two men in a world where their love is condemned. Their love for the pianist.
So we had to implement all these different things into an already hard format.
And we put the elements that were required in there, and we attacked them all these different ways, and we basically made a bunch of like 1-minute movies.
We could do a war epic! No, I've got it. We could do a war epic!
Oh my God! They got Danny! Oh God! Lieutenant, what are we doing?
We threw them all in there.
It was really good, though. It turned out really well, except the first cut was 12 minutes, and the movie could only be 7 minutes, which, I mean, you know, we didn't really know what we were doing, but, man, the movie just works.
The dog is the monster, right? That's the scary monster? That's what we're doing? What do I do with this? How do I kill the monster dog? What is this?
Yeah, we got nominated our first year. We got nominated for a whole bunch of categories, like 7 or 8 of them.
And everyone loved us.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, you made Jamie! Oh my God!" And we were like, we're on top of the world. This competition, we're like slamming it. It's no problem, you know." And
we didn't win any of the awards.
Jury award.
Yeah, which was there's actually, I remember very vividly the picture. Yeah, Mark was happy. Mark was very happy that we won, and everyone else was upset.
It was in a frame. It was awesome.
It was in a frame. And yeah, so we won jury award, and that was our first festival, any kind, that we went to.
And we were hooked.
And it was really hard. It was really fun. It was a long weekend.
Our first cut of being Jamie Woodnett, it was hilarious. It was risky on some parts.
Jared, what is that intoxicating melody?
I have no idea. My hands are but the marionettes to my heart.
Well, that was awkward.
How'd it candle?
Amazing time. Again, coming together and just putting out some comedy gold.
Is that you, Jamie, who done it?
Cut! You just, okay.
Is that you, Jamie, what?
Cut!
Is that you, Jamie Wood?
Yes! Thank God! It's the keyboard! Are you here to save me?
I have no idea.
At the time, they had this little theater that they held the award show in, and it was just really cool. And it took us a long time to get back there.
And then it all went downhill for like 5 years after that. We never got back to the awards show. We made the Andrews Method, which we thought was as good as Jamie Woodnett.
Or better.
Mm-hmm. Sean will say, his favorite.
For me, I liked it because it was such a dark comedy. It was basically Big Brother, the TV show, but each person that was in the household was in jail or some sort of recovery for some sort of sexual issue. I live a couple doors down, and I'm just required to let you know under Megan's law that I'm a registered sex offender. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I was down the street, there was a party, I had to go. They had a bounce house. I don't know about you guys, I know they're kind of cliche nowadays for a kid's party, but they really tied the whole thing together. The point was that whoever went through this therapy program called the Andrews Method would get early release.
We gotta do something about Lyle, okay? Okay, so look, you and I, we spend so much time fighting between each other that Lyle here, he's the favorite to get out of here, okay?
We gotta find a way to break him.
And it was just a ton of fun to shoot, and it was one of the first projects where like we all really got to participate and add our own touches to it. So Andrew's method was my personal favorite.
Yeah, I have something I'd like to share. Last night, someone from the group put a dead girl's body in my bed. Not cool, fellas. Not cool.
I'm not proud of what we did.
And then we went even lower with Legacy. I mean, we just kept going,
Yep.
you know, in the wrong direction. Sumter Says was the first time we worked with the great Juan Paz. Surprised he came back to work with us after that debacle.
Juan Paz, cinematographer, editor, colorist, sound designer, and everything else these guys don't do. Very first movie was Sumter Says, and it was horrible. And yeah, that's all I can say about that one. It was a very short, very discombobulated production. And then after that, thought about it, maybe giving them one more chance. And that's every time I think about that at the end of every movie. Worst thing I saw in Sumter Says is probably the post-production. That's probably the worst thing I've seen ever. I've never seen so many Final Cut running in so many computers and so many people not knowing what to do with it.
You're going to make him angry.
So, all right.
What else do you hate about cinema? What other shit have we done?
No, so
I have something good to say.
I mean...
Freedom was, for me, it was a special one because it was the first time that I was working on a project, but I had absolutely nothing to do with any of the production. I was only able to work on the script because I was living in Africa. So, and not only was I living there, when I was there, I was working with kids, right? And it was the summer. So in the summer, kids aren't there. So for 3 months, there was literally nothing to do. I was in a country I didn't speak the language. I had nothing going except this movie we had talked about doing, and it was Freedom, which was so much fun to write, and I was so engaged, and I was probably the most annoying I've ever been with Mark, and calling him all the time, like, what are we shooting? Like, Skype me in. I want to see, like, where are we at in the filming process? Like, hey, you guys are filming today. Like, I want to, see everyone, and that was a fun experience for me.
Hey, I'm Matt Condi. I have been working with Mark and Dave and Center Cut Productions for about 10 years now. Wow, 10 years. That's a long time. Freedom, I got to work alongside Sean Coutu. I had known Sean for a little while doing improv together in Orange County. We got to do some really silly things that when my kids grow up, it will be fun to explain to them.
Hey, buddy. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Freedom was super fun. I remember having a lot of fun in that movie. I don't remember a lot of it because of the drugs, but it's fun.
It was Juan and I. That was our whole crew, and a handful of actors, and it was just one of those. I don't know what it was about that movie. It was just fun.
I would say it's the writing, but.
Oh yeah, boss.
Yeah.
I got a Mrs. Allen. She called about some renter's insurance.
What the hell are you doing in here? What's with that shirt? Were you trying to convince some coos you graduated from junior college?
It was my dad. Just let him go and take me instead, okay, please.
Pete's gonna save the day.
Hey, Smeagol, how's the hunt for the ring going?
All the way around, the story was fun. The characters were great.
I want waffles. You guys hungry?
Say that the cops come and question you. You get all nervous. They'll think it's because you're afraid of them finding out that you're hiding your penis in his asshole. Not because you killed some guy at your ex-girlfriend's place.
It was just a really enjoyable experience.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Your dick is hanging out of your zipper.
I knew you were going to say that one.
Jump in front of me.
No! But. Oh, wait, it was. Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Did we get it?
We premiered it at the Maverick. Everyone loved it. We raffled off a bunch of sex toys that were in the movie, and people were really excited about that.
I bet you're the pitcher, yeah? This is for you, in case you get tired. And this is for you. That's your rape whistle. Rape whistle? Yes. Ruptured, anal, paramedic emergency. Mr. Big gets a little crazy here. Does some damage, freaks out. You can't reach a phone? Give that thing a blow, and I'll be here in a hot minute with the cavalry.
If we ever did anything that involved any merchandising, though, Freedom would be the movie. You know, we've got logos, business cards.
Yeah,
and
Captain Fat Cock's Cozy Corner.
Yeah.
Rico.
Good.
That was Juan's acting debut. He got murdered in a trunk of a car. That was good. we had three people get run over. And that was before I knew how to do any green screen, so I had to road. It was a nightmare. Like the stuff you think about when you make these movies, and you know, again, you just say, yeah, this is how we're gonna do it. It's gonna be awesome, and then you get into it, and you look back a few years later, and you're like, how insane am I to try and pull off an effect like that?
So East of Jesus was, when it was completed, was a comedy movie about
people in witness protection that had to go to a new safe house because the guys stole money from the mob, and that house happened to be hopefully inherited by televangelists, and the worlds collide and they don't trust each other and know who each other is.
I don't believe Beverly said anything about knowing anybody from Nebraska.
Or Florida.
Or Delaware.
Or anywhere. Other than us. Yeah, she didn't know anybody.
So tell us how the story started.
So originally, our idea was if we were going to take all these hitmen, they were going to have a centralized target. It was going to be like a bounty on this one character, but all these different hitmen were all going to be fantasy characters. It was going to be vampires, it was going to be werewolves, it was going to be everything you could possibly imagine. We're all going to come together to kill this one person. And somehow
that turned into East of Jesus.
Yeah.
So East of Jesus was sold to me as this fun project that we were gonna go to Oregon to shoot for 7-8 days, and we had a very specific schedule that we had to stick to, but there were obviously some complications along the way, to say the least. Another thing that traumatized me from that shoot was filming this stupid dinner scene that included broccoli, and somebody had to warm the fucking broccoli in the microwave in the same room where we're gonna be shooting. And it smelled like a fucking homeless bumhole.
Thank you.
Oh, fallen soldier.
Don't
mind me.
Now, I don't have any appliances, so I did have to use the microwave and the toaster oven.
But we made it through it. Ended up being a great feature, actually.
It was the first time, you felt like, oh, I'm being a big boy actor, because we, flew up there and we all had organized shooting schedules and call lists. And so from my perspective, that was really cool because it showed a huge leap in their organization.
With East of Jesus, we had time, we had preparation, things like that. And I had been coming up with this character. And I get in front of Mark, and Mark's like, had an idea. Mark, said, well, I kind of think this character's like this. I said, okay, well, just hold on one second. So I went in the bathroom and I shaved up my face and I had a full mustache going. And I did this character for Mark. And he just went, dude, I didn't even know that was you for a second.
Oh, wait, I forgot something.
God loves you.
Matt has incredible comedic timing. A lot of times, you know, he loves to improv, maybe too much sometimes. He knows that. But I always welcome his improv and the things he comes up with.
I would hardly call spying on your neighbors and wrestling around with a cripple community service.
Being able to improv some little parts in East of Jesus in character was just so much fun, and it was so fulfilling as an actor. And to this day, I'm very appreciative of Mark and Dave for believing in me to go ahead and do that.
For the first time in our life, our Beverly is light enough to pick up with two hands. And it is with two hands that we ask, Lord, that you embrace Beverly, that you open up your double wide gates of St. Peter, and you let our Beverly rumble on in.
Sean doesn't like to show his cards early. He likes to play them pretty close to the vest until we film. And his one question was posture, because he was going to be in a wheelchair. And I'm not sure why he was in a wheelchair in that movie. I think it was because we just happened to have a wheelchair, because we don't write anything, almost nothing, unless we have the location or the prop or the whatever. And the only note I gave to him was, if you're in a wheelchair and you're as confrontational as you are in this character, you have to keep eye contact. Your eye contact is everything, because you can't stand up to get to eye level, so eye contact is everything. And he played that to a T.
Yep, Lauren tried to hit one of them up on Grindr. Best 3 days of his life.
His character was, I just wish it was in more of the film, but again, Sean could only be there for 3 days, so his part lasted 3 days.
Nice meeting you folks. I'm sure we'll see each other again.
Lord, hold on a second. Lord, hold on a second. Lord, no, wait, Lord.
It was great to see everybody collaborate and come with all their tools and their tricks and just create this these one-of-a-kind people. These one-of-a-kind people. It was a lot of fun. I take a lot of pride in my small involvement in that movie. I love Sean's character.
Who the hell are you?
Looking for protection.
What? Speak up from your testicles, fire crotch.
Came here for protection.
And Anthony's character and Mia's character is just it was just like pinpoint perfect.
I would say that my favorite role with Mark and Dave would be playing Peggy in East of Jesus. Welcome to the neighborhood!
Hello there.
Hi, I'm Joe, and this is my angel, Peggy.
Oh, well, praise Jesus, what a lovely day! Oh my goodness, you are just cute as a button.
Now, from any movie I've ever seen, if you are a fugitive, you go to Mexico.
You're closer to Canada.
Mexico, Joe!
You know I don't speak Spanish.
Good Lord! Shut up! Good Lord, just put an O at the end of every word.
It was probably one of the first times I wasn't killed or didn't do some sort of killing in a film, and I just had so much fun with it. I finally got to do some humor and actually try to be a little bit funny.
Now, you, sir, are Lucifer himself, and I will not be having you send anyone to heaven on my watch. And if you threaten us again, I'm gonna get my kitchen knives, and they are gonna make you think twice.
The whole cast was just absolutely incredible. We had so much fun. It was always kind of just laughing and screwing up and then trying again, kind of time and time again.
Well, on the 8th day, the Lord said, go fuck it thyself.
Wait, what had happened?
I am not.
What had happened was...
How's it work?
Oh shit, there's a car coming. No way, you think he's gonna rob somebody?
In that shoot specifically, I had ashes thrown in my face by the wind. They were carried by Jesus. That was super fun.
There are a couple other smaller roles in there. We got Tim Boise and Channing Apodaca to come in and do some fun little character roles, which were great. I mean, they just worked out. And then Lawrence's character, the hitman with the who's a little OCD, a little germaphobe, with peanut allergies.
Now, I know you don't know me, but do you have any idea what would happen if I accidentally ate a peanut? No? Well, let me tell you. I'd go into an anaphylactic shock and die. Yeah.
You can't, I mean, you have to write a character like that because it's so specific. And it was just so well done. Lawrence's acting is just, it's great. You know, I love watching him. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
One of the 48s we worked on was called All Is Fair, and I was able to work with David and Mark to come up with a good, solid story about the military and the brotherhood.
Wakey, wakey, sleeping beauty. Reveille.
Reveille, boy. Grab your trash, let's go.
We actually went to the middle of the desert to shoot this, and everybody was just troopers. We're blistering heat. Guys that were in military gear sweating their ass off.
Rolling and action. Keep that distance apart.
You know, Lawrence Hemingway and myself are former Marines, and having that camaraderie still, even years apart from service, we're still brothers in the sense that we're both Marines.
Tell her the truth. Tell her how you left your post and he died. And I want to hear you say it.
Tell her what kind of man she married.
Working with everybody on that one was very rewarding for me because, you know, I'm military and I was, you know, wounded in combat in Iraq. It was very touching to get some of the stories out that I wanted to tell. And it was very rewarding having my friends back me up on this as editing and shooting and the whole story of the whole thing.
And Awake was a very kind of another one of those movies where it was one location for the most part in the garage, and it was a girl that wakes up on a table ready for surgery, doesn't know how she got there or why she's there, and they proceed to remove her organs.
You have to remain calm.
What happened? Where am I?
You were brought in a few minutes ago. We're prepping you for surgery.
Surgery?
And we won for best practical effects. We had a pig ear and some strawberry jelly.
Scalpel.
That looks pretty fucking real.
Okay, now that's just a cut, so now, you know, we could always cut away.
You gonna like damp it or something?
Yeah, yeah. And we cut Mia open, and it was wonderful. And we won an award, and that started us off winning awards in the 48.
Don't mind me, I'm just gonna put a towel down just in case my water breaks. Hi, my name is Vanessa Esperanza and I am 39 weeks pregnant. So obviously you know you really like somebody if they ask a favor and you're literally about to give birth at any moment and you're like, sure, no problem. The very first time that I worked for Center Cut Productions, I honestly had no idea what I was getting into. I was home, it was a Friday night, it was probably around 4:30 p.m. My friend Matt, who we were in the same improv group, he called me up and he said, "Hey Vanessa, what are you doing tonight?" Our lead actress, she dropped out, and we are shooting a film. It's gonna be all night. Basically, can you be in Long Beach in 2 hours and bring a bag of clothes with you? And I was like, okay. Why not? I don't know. Why not?
I met Mark working together, and he offered me if I wanted to help in his movies, and I said, yeah, I never did it before, so I just had experience in TV and stuff, but never worked in the film. It was pretty attractive to do. So I helped Juan doing camera, lighting and stuff. I also participate in the edit process. It was pretty fun, actually.
Later on, I found out that Mark was like, geez, I hope she can act. I don't know, what she can do, because they threw a pretty big role at me without knowing who I was. So that was kind of cool.
I just remember talking to Dave and going, who is this girl? I hope she can do something, because I have no idea what her chops are.
I never heard about Center Cut Productions. I didn't really know what I was getting into. I literally had zero information. All I knew is that we were gonna shoot it all night long, and that I was probably clinically insane to just do it and not really know what I was getting into. Shattered really was my favorite project that I did with Center Cut Productions. Probably because I was able to have my biggest range, even though it was kind of a very small part, but yet I was able to showcase more of my talent. I went from like a tragic mom mourning the loss of her son to this kind of crazy person who sees apparitions.
Hi, baby. You want to play?
To a serial killer. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun.
She got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. It was fantastic. And she was so good. She was crying. She was insane. She bashed Matt's head. She cut Tim's throat, all with a smile on her face.
It's so much fun killing people. Like, once you do it, you're never gonna not want to do it. It's like I never want to go back to the victim. I just want to be the murderer all the time.
She always wants to do whatever we want. And so for her, she's always she hears the idea of the story that we're talking about, and then she'll wait as I'm writing the script. She's always like picking my brain, like what's going on, what kind of things am I going to be involved in, and I go, I have a couple ideas for this or that, and she goes, all right, well, just wait until Mark gets his crazy idea, and then I'll start freaking out. Because every time we do anything, I mean, ever since the beginning, it's always been about practical effects. So she always is very confident. But when I'm talking with her, it's always like, oh yeah, I can do a couple bullet wounds, a couple slash wounds, or whatever, because we've never done a movie without an effect in it. And then she's always just waiting for that call with Mark, where she goes, I don't think I can do what he wants. And then she does it. And then she does it, and she pulls it off every time. It's amazing.
And hit him with a lot. More. Okay. Get away and go. All the stuff, I mean, if we're not doing something a little bit difficult, I'm not sure, for what we do, why not? Why not push it every time we go? I mean, she's done neck slashes a couple of times, that look really, really amazing, and scar work, and splitting Mia's head open, which looked so fantastic in Timeshare. And she's a great actress too, which is like, bonus.
It's getting worse,
What do you know about it?
Nothing. Just worry about you is all.
One of my personal favorites was Terminal. It was a short we did for the 48 Hour Film Fest. And we'd been up for awards before. We'd won awards before, but this is the first time that I won an award at the 48.
Juan was the guy, or still is the guy in the center cut for all the cinematography, and he's really good with the visuals and where to put the camera and what is the best.
Cause she's gonna come here for she's gonna do one of these, and the way you're exposed right now, this should be fine. That should be enough of a film. And she can kind of come behind her out of the church so we didn't see her. So you can show up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We really lose the direction what the fuck we had.
Love it.
And then that second movie I made, Juan wasn't able to make it. So I was in charge of pretty much all the camera work. And that movie was just basically Mark, me, and the audio guy, I think.
It's a unique perspective on a woman planning her own funeral because she just found out she had a terminal sickness.
You know what? I've been to 10 places today, so I'm just going to cut to the chase. I am the loved one. I am terminal. I'm dying, trying to get a jump on things. Fuck.
I really got to do a character role. He had a distinct perspective, and he was an emotional guy. And
Papa, I'm such an ugly crier.
It was really special to me because that's the year that my mom passed away. And they were coming up to the award nominees and things. And I just, for a split second, I just had this shot of confidence that I'd won.
I was so happy when Matt won Best Supporting Actor for Terminal. You know, that whole movie was improv. Dave had written us a script that was more of a shell. He was in Georgia, and it was late, and he was like, "Listen, here's the shell of the movie. You guys just do what you do." And the character that Matt came up with, Paolo.
It's close enough. Mucho gusto.
We had such a great time, and for him to win that award, I was just so happy.
We had done a strong short film with a really sensitive, subject matter, and just we took that film head on with a lot of courage. I just think that was a great collaborative effort on everybody's part involved.
Name the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit.
And since then, Lawrence, or actually a previous year, Lawrence had won Best Supporting Actor, and last year for The Entertainer, Lawrence won Best Actor. Our actresses have been nominated. We need wins. I just love our cast so much, our core group of actors, and I'm always happy when they get recognized. Red Christmas was obviously a unique film. It was all voiced over. It was very difficult in my mind to know if we had shot anything. Dave wasn't there for that shoot, but I'll never forget, we did another overnighter, which everybody hates, and I've been told that we shouldn't do it anymore. The next morning after we got done with Mia's VO, I went out to my car and I called Dave right away, and he said, "So how'd we do?" And I go, "I don't know if we made a movie." I don't know if this is anything.
When we did that was super different. That was probably definitely the only film that I've ever done that had no dialogue. It was all voiceover.
It was the night before Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring except for my spouse. Her eyes glazed with tequila, wasn't very attractive. I'm a prisoner to snoring, or better yet, a captive.
So, truly appreciated that, to be honest. There was, it was all, working with your body and being humorous through big actions and facial movements, etc.
We'll just do two like that, yeah?
Yeah.
And then, cool, all right.
Cool, all right, and we're rolling, and action.
The only thing that I would say I didn't love about that shoot is that, of course, we waited until the final final hours of the film festival to do the voiceover. So I think we were all super tired, just super tired trying to get through this just pages and pages of dialogue that was for the voiceover. So that didn't love that, but overall really fun. Just something I had never done before. Very different.
It was very difficult to see if we had made anything because it was just all action. And I would say the lines while we shot, the scenes, and just tried to get reactions out of the actors, or, look a certain way or do a certain thing. And it was so odd.
And set, action.
It was the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring except for my spouse. When Juan and I, or Kiki and I, we edit together, we each take a half of the movie. And Juan and I, we got together and we were like, this is pretty good. Like, I think we have something here. And Juan goes, what are we calling this thing? And I was like, I don't know. And I went, and like 2 minutes later, I thought, and I came back and said, Red Christmas. And he goes, cool. Like, whatever. I'm tired. We're done.
Red Christmas by Center Cut Productions. Congratulations, Mark.
Juan Paz is my director of photography, and he co-edited with me. So we both got this. So if you're watching, Juan, nice job.
That was COVID time, unfortunately, but we made it to the best of, which, is always something we want. We never know if we're going to be up for an award. And I was in my room on the Zoom call, and I was talking to Dave and Rebecca underneath, and we just kept getting nominated, and nobody was on the Zoom call except for Mia, drunk out of her mind, and nobody else was there, and then we started winning a couple, and I kept talking to you, and Dave is always the one that is positive, and I am the negative. Everything sucks. We're never going to win. We made a terrible movie, and Dave's always like, we got this. And we got to, I think it was cinematography, and we won for cinematography, and that was something. And then we won, or I guess I won, directing.
All right, and our winner for Best Directing goes to Red Christmas by Center Cut Productions.
Oh my God. I can't believe that. This is my 11th 48 and my 18th movie directing. That's awesome. This is the best, and I'm so glad I'm in my bedroom.
And I was out of my mind, and Dave goes, we won the whole thing. And I go, you don't know that. He goes, you ever watch the Oscars? You ever watch award shows? If the director wins, it's going to be Best Picture. And we won Best Picture.
The winner of Best Films for the 2020 LA 48HFP goes to Red Christmas by Center Cut Productions.
You know what?
There it is. There's your...
I can't even believe this. You know what? We've made some real garbage over the years in these 48s. No, seriously. We started off our first year really great. We got to the best of, we had nominations, and we were like, this is like easy, like this, we got this. And then it was like a couple of years where we were like, sure, we were going to make to the best of, and we didn't. And it was like, you know what? And then we just started like, just kind of hammering down and trying to do better. And like, it's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. I don't know what to say. I really don't. I know my buddy Dave that writes and produces all our movies, I'm on him with Skype right now, and he's like, we're good. He's always like the positive one, and I'm always like, it's never going to happen. And so it's unbelievable.
And it was awesome. It was so great. And no one was there to celebrate except Mia going like this in the camera.
Dude, what just happened? What just happened?
And I called Juan and I said, hey, Juan, did you watch? And he goes, no, I'm at a party. He goes, anything happen? And I go, we won the whole fucking thing. He's like, what? And I call Kike and I go, Kike, did you watch? He goes, no, I'm at my neighbor's house. Did anything happen? I'm like, oh my God, dude. It's like the biggest night of our lives. But I don't blame him because we never won that much before. You just don't know.
Dude, we just won Best Picture.
2020 is going to be
Director,
2021 is going to be a big year because
editor,
that's our 20th year.
cinematography,
So we hope to see you
production
all
design,
back. And thank you guys
graphics.
again. Please keep
That's all.
watching and noting.
That's it. Not Anne.
You could have done better. I mean,
How much better do you want us to be?
didn't win writing.
That kind of is irritating.
If I would have wrote it, we would have won writing.
This was very unexpected, to say the least. We were just hoping to make it to the best of as usual. That's like the big. You know, every year that's the goal, is just to make to the best of, and then maybe get nominated for something, and then this happens, and you can't believe it.
Well, great job.
So, thank you guys.
Yeah, congratulations.
This is awesome, 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 awesome.
I never had felt so clear with a script before, where I was like, I know exactly what I want to say, I know exactly what I want to do with it, and it just my fingers wouldn't stop. It just flew out.
Can I say something though? So that was the first 48 we ever shot on Saturday that we didn't shoot overnight. So I actually went to bed, and I woke up at 4 or 5 in the morning or whatever, and I got the script and I read it. I had never read a 48 script that he had written that was complete before, because normally it's he's under the gun and there's not enough time, so there's a lot of holes and there's a lot of, this is the essence of what we want to do in this particular part of the movie, and we'll figure it out on the day. This was the first script I had ever seen that was start to finish. I could see it, I could feel it.
Don't worry, folks. The pumpkin's okay.
I think part of it was we had decided what kind of clown we wanted to go with. And I think that was a very important conversation that we had, was at least to get that guy, whoever he was, to where we were all on board.
I think that production I had the most fun shooting, and maybe it was because we didn't have to pull an all-nighter. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, maybe we don't do nights anymore, just like early mornings, no overnights. I don't know, it went really smooth. It seemed like we got all the shots we needed and we all had sleep. So, that's fantastic. Can't beat that.
You two, you've committed a cardinal sin. You've pretended to be entertainers. I'm not going to stand for it anymore.
Also, I was in my second trimester while filming that, and I remember when I got the character, I was supposed to be this social media influencer, which is fine to murder an influencer because most of them are super annoying. So you're gonna get props from the audience if you kill an influencer. But I was like, look, you guys can't show my belly, because if you show my belly and you're murdering a pregnant woman, we're gonna lose the audience big time. So we can shoot around it, but just make sure I don't look pregnant, because if you kill a pregnant lady, you can't go back from that. Like, not at all. Influencer, yes. Pregnant influencer, not so much. So they did a really good job, like watching it, you couldn't even tell. And I was popping. I'm popping now because I'm gonna literally at any moment, even while I'm talking, give birth. But then it was definitely prominent. He was moving, you could feel him. It was really cool. It was like really, really fun to shoot. I don't know, it's like the set has a really good vibe. It was a lot of fun. Good location, creepy. Who doesn't like a killer clown, right?
Let's give the people the show they really want to see. This is going to be fun.
The amount of ad-libbing in, not dialogue, but story-wise, was so minimal. It was so minimal on that. And lo and behold, we won again.
This is actually a really cool moment. Mark Schaefer won Best Film for the first time in 2020.
We did it over Zoom. He wasn't actually able to have a live audience. So let's give it up one more time.
I think for me, Mia or Michelle is just the GOAT for us when it comes to actresses. She can play anything. She can do anything. She will do anything we ask her physically. I mean, throwing her off stuff and dunking her head underwater and all that stuff. This is a one-off, guys. Everyone know what they're doing?
Yes.
Yep.
Rolling. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, action.
3, 2, 1.
I am kind of a yes woman. There's the ashes in the face. There's the army crawling on gravel. Still have a couple of scars from that one. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. There's also the jacuzzi. Guys, remember that one? Remember, he said, Michelle, all you have to do is just hold your breath and go under in the jacuzzi. It'll be nice. It'll be warm. It'll be so fun. Remember that? Yeah. So what it actually was a jacuzzi that probably hadn't been used in a couple of years with some standing water in it. Then, of course, the heater didn't work very properly. So I had gray, warm is pushing it, gray, cool water that I had to get in, dunk my head many a times, and jump up coughing and spit out a bunch of red wine.
Action.
How's it going so far?
It's going great.
At the end of the day, she's so natural, and she knows when to play up and she knows when to sit back.
Joe, what is that number that they can call?
Peggy, that number is...
The number, Joe.
And the cadence that she uses in her lines and her acting ability is always spot on.
Oh, girl, you're gonna get so many likes tonight. It's gonna be amazing.
When you said we were gonna be traveling more, I just assumed I'd be on a beach with a cocktail in my hand.
Okay, well, we're gonna get there, but it's Halloween, so you gotta give the people what they want, right?
Halloween sucks.
It is not much, but it is our home. We always say that if the manger was good enough for the good Lord baby Jesus, then a 300 square foot apartment above a garage is good enough for us. Praise Jesus.
Amen.
She's one of those people that studies hard before a role. She always comes prepared, and it's just one of those people you never worry about. And I always appreciate that about her.
We don't have much time. Sun is coming up.
Get away from Isaac!
For what? I'm trying to save our son from eternal damnation.
I don't know what you think you saw, but I swear if you don't get away from him, I'm gonna shoot you.
Go ahead.
You know, Lawrence, I always call our Bill Murray because I never know if he'll actually show up to set. And there's no history to say that he won't. It's just a feeling I get when he says he'll do a role. I just don't know if he's telling me the truth. And until I see him on set, I just don't know if he'll show up. I don't know what it is about him. I know he second guesses himself a lot. He's told me in the past that he is always grateful when he does something with us, but it's hard to get him there. Maybe that's what got it in my mind. Lawrence is a very humble, very capable actor.
How'd you find us?
Oh, well, that was an easy one. See, Zsa Zsa here ordered a package to be picked up after you split.
Which, by the way, got a man killed in the process. Guy was going deaf anyway, probably doing him a favor. Regardless, it's about as easy as it comes.
And whether it's comedy or drama or if he's a baddie or whatever it is, he's another one that that just comes prepared and can learn on the fly, which is not easy.
And you used your pretty looks to lure the people in and give them nothing. Just a bunch of pretty wrapping paper wrapped around an empty, hollow box. Let's see if you can lure people in without your pretty looks.
He's great in everything he does, yet it's effortless. It's been a long time, and it's been a lot of learning, a lot of failure, and a lot of people. We have worked with so many actors and crew members from everywhere, and somehow they just want to do this stuff. I mean, it's over 100, for sure. For sure,
Yeah,
it's over 100 cast and crew of different people that have worked with us on this stuff. And I don't know why they do it, but I guess, at the end of the day, it's just fun.
We've not only been nominated for stuff, but we won stuff. We've won some individual awards. We've won some best film awards. We've done some really good work. We've really refined our process.
But overall, I've really just enjoyed working with Mark and Dave just for so many reasons. They write me great parts. I always have an incredible time when I'm with them, with the rest of the crew. I really hope that we can continue to work together for years and years to come. So cheers to another 15.
In the long run, I'm not surprised that Center Cut has come as far as it has come. We keep going and we keep making good movies. And I like the courage behind the production process to do the films that Center Cut does.
Every single project they do, they take a little bit of knowledge and apply it to the next one. And it's really impressive to watch the things that they have gotten accomplished from, where we started to, where they are now. They've been able to really make this a fairly professional thing. So if you're in a project with them, it's not going to be fly by the seat of your pants. They've got a plan. They work with the plan, while at the same time they definitely are encouraging people to participate and give their ideas. So if you're putting in the work, they're putting in the work. It's very mutually beneficial. When you see them working so hard, you want to work so hard.
I'm very appreciative for everybody at Center Cut for, as an actor, giving me the artistic freedom and giving me the trust to do my thing, if you will. And I respect the hell out of those guys.
The first movie to now, it was like such an experience to work with Center Cut. It's fun. Sometimes it's really tired, like in the movie Timeshare. I remember I finished like destroyed that day. Like, it would last for 2 days. I was like, my body was like destroyed. But it was usually it is like such a nice experience to work with all these guys that we are a group of friends doing movies.
No, working with Mark is fun. I think the best thing I've been able to get for our relationship has been a wireless monitor so he can get off my back every time we're doing close-ups.
We've had some people that have kind of stayed with it for a long time, and then throughout the years, some new people have come in and come out, and and everybody's very passionate about what they do. We don't obviously we don't do this for money or fame, and it's a lot of hard work.
I have nothing but fond memories of us filming and making Agape and trying to make films and And you know, our dreams were to become these amazing filmmakers, as everyone who wants to be a filmmaker dreams about. But I am super proud of Mark and Dave for continuing on with the vision of Center Cut Productions and continuing to make films. They have taken Center Cut Productions to exciting new places that I am thrilled to see them at. Long live Center Cut Productions. Mark, David, keep on fighting the good fight. Thank you for keeping me in the framework of what Center Cut Productions is. I'm super proud to have been a founding member of this awesome endeavor, and I look forward to all the future films that Center Cut Productions continues to make.
From 2009 till now, everything has changed. It's actually, the love for the movies and love for cinema has grown tremendously through all of us. We were so green in 2009, and learning and going on this journey with everybody together. It's amazing with the friends that we've made, the content that we've made. It's night and day. But that's one thing I'm ever gonna forever remember, is that camaraderie and that partnership and that brotherhood growing up together through film and learning everything that we've learned till now. I'm currently in Houston, Texas, but when I'm around, I work with Center Cut as much as possible. I'm always going to have that brotherhood with Mark and Dave and everybody else that's on set. Juan, everybody who's a part of Center Cut now. It just, from what we had in 2009 to what we have now, is just love for cinema, love for the silver screen. We love doing it all together and being able to do it as a team and as friends.
Dave and I have these state of unions, or we used to have these state of the unions back in the day, and kind of saying what are we doing? Like, what's the point? And in the beginning, 2005, 2007, 8, 9, we were younger, and we kind of had the opportunity, we thought, to try and make this into something, and we really just had a conversation like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Because it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work for production and actors. For he and I, it's extra because we go from concept to completion, and it's just takes up a lot of time and a lot of effort. And so, why are we doing this? And he and I, we were like, are we trying to make it, or are we just here to have fun? And he and I just basically decided it's fun, and that's why we do this. We make movies for the love of making movies, and that's why we do it. Now, if someone noticed the fact that we can make a really great movie for no money whatsoever, then that's great, but we all are older, we have wives and kids and careers and all that, and we just want to keep making movies as long as people will make them with us.
Yeah, and to tag on with that, like for us, it's it's our passion. It's what we want to do, and every project we do, we're looking for something. What are we going to get out of it? That's what we talked about before. What effect can we do, or what story do we want to tell? But we've done this long enough now that it's also, I don't want to make stuff that's just gonna sit on a shelf that we have, or sit on a YouTube channel that has 2 views and one's mine and one's Mark's. We've sort of progressed to the point now where we do this for fun, but we are also putting it out there now. We're showing people what we're doing. You're like, we're having fun doing this, but we're not making just stuff that's only fun for people in it. We're making it for audiences now. We're putting it out into festivals, and we're finally getting some recognition, and it's also hopefully good for the people that work with us. They can show the work they've done, they can show the recognition that we've gotten, and if we're all just having fun in the meantime, then I say we keep doing it.